Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Inside. I am your host, Ryan Fox. Today, we're actually not going to talk about equipment or ways that someone that is blind or visually impaired to help, it helps them in everyday life. Today, we're actually going to talk about other types of disabilities. So, being as we're talking about different types of disabilities, I kind of want to, make notice that there are many types of disabilities. But the types I'm going to talk about today are disabilities that you can see and disabilities that you can't see. Now, I see it that way, not for, someone that's blind to not see a disability. You could have the best vision of all time, and there are disabilities that you can't see. For ones that you can't see, obviously someone that's blind or visually impaired, they would use a cane, or they would use a guide dog, which is now what I use. There are people who are paralyzed from the waist down, and they use wheelchairs. But there are disabilities that you can't see, such as someone that has a learning disability. You can't see that. There are people that suffer from epilepsy, and they have seizures. And you can't really tell that they have that problem until you actually see the seizure. And then there are people that suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. People that have really gone through really traumatic moments in their life and has a permanent effect on them. And of course, there's medical treatment for all disabilities, or there are ways around it. Like for people that suffer from epilepsy, that have seizures, they can take medication, or there are actual service dogs out there that can actually detect when you're about to have a seizure, and they will alert you, and you can get into a nice, safe, comfortable area where you can have the seizure and not get harmed from it. There is one other disability I would like to talk about, which I actually have as well. I'm not just blind and visually impaired. I also have a small learning disability. And that was mostly due to because of medical treatments that I had to go through, and also, just the fact that when I was young, I had a brain tumor. I got very sick, and this thing in my head was putting pressure on my brain, and that's why I have these learning disabilities. But because of medical treatment I had, I'm actually now left partially deaf, and I've been partially deaf for 22 years. Can you believe it? I'm only 31, and I've been partially deaf for 22 years. And to help me with that disability, believe it or not, I'm actually wearing a hearing aid. But the beautiful thing about this hearing aid is you can't see it. Many types of hearing aids. There are hearing aids that can actually fit into the ear canal. There are hearing aids that can actually sit on the back of your ear, and many more. The one I have actually sits on the back of my ear, and I have a piece that actually goes into my ear canal so that I can actually hear a lot better. I mean, if you imagine, I'm a magician. It's really embarrassing when I have a spectator up on stage and I'm talking to them and they're talking back to me, but I can't hear them. That's embarrassing for me. Having this hearing aid has changed everything when it comes to performing. I can hear my spectator. I can react with my spectator. I can make fun of them, depending on the situation. Nothing bad, but just with the trick and everything. Plus, being in a situation where I'm talking with friends, but I can't really hear what's going on in the conversation. And then they turn to me to get my opinion on something, and, well, I can't answer them because I don't know what they were talking about. But the hearing aid has changed that. Alright, my hearing aid is actually in my left ear. This is where I have my hearing impairment. And even though I'm looking at you right now, my question is, can you see it? And most people will say no. This is my hearing aid right here. Okay, there is a wire that goes around my ear and into my ear canal, and this part pulls out, and this is the part that will actually sit in my ear. There's a part that sits on the back of my ear that is the microphone, and that part, if you notice, is actually skin toned. It's colored to the color of my skin. This allows the hearing aid to be completely, well, not completely, but practically invisible. Basically, for people that don't know it's there, will not be able to tell. For people that do know it's there, most of the time they won't see it unless they're looking for it. I'm only 31, guys, and I'm wearing a hearing aid, and I have no problems wearing this thing because it helps me. It helps me so much in my life. Being someone that's blind and also being partially deaf at the same time, imagine that I'm standing at a 4-way crosswalk and I need to cross the street, but I need to rely on the sound of the traffic. And being as I don't have this, that's going to be very dangerous for me. Having this makes travel a lot safer. So basically what I'm saying here with the hearing aid is you don't need to be young, and you don't need to be old to wear a hearing aid. I wear a hearing aid because it helps me. I use a guide dog because it helps me. I use so much technology in my life because it helps me. And because I have all this technology so that I can do everyday tasks like everybody else, to me, that makes me cool. And I actually have friends that say that I'm so cool because I get to use this technology that helps me to be able to do normal everyday things in my life. And I'm so thankful to have Sinbad, my guide dog. I am so thankful to have this hearing aid. I'm so thankful that I have all this technology that can talk and tell me what's going on and what to do and everything. It helps me so much. So if you have a disability, whether you suffer from seizures or PTSD, or if you're blind, or even if you're deaf or going deaf, and you're struggling to decide whether you want that piece of equipment, I say go ahead and get it. If you know that it's going to help you in your life, get it. Because with this piece of equipment that's helping you out, in my opinion, that makes you really cool. To be able to do things with this piece of equipment that help you do things in everyday life that normal people would think is almost impossible without the, even with the technology, that makes you so cool. That just shows that you are taking the time out of your life to show people, yes, I'm deaf. Yes, I'm blind. Yes, I'm in a wheelchair. I find ways around my disability to do what I want to do in life. And just being able to say that and then to take action makes you so incredibly awesome. I mean, look at me, for example. I'm a magician. I am a blind and partially deaf magician, and I amaze people all the time. Not just because of my magic, but because I'm disabled. And I can do things that people can't even think about how to do in their own lives, and they're not disabled. I guess I'm trying to, inspire those. That if you are thinking about getting a wheelchair or a service dog or a hearing aid, get it. Please, for the love of God, get it. It's going to help you so much in your life. Don't think about it. Do it. Well, guys, that is all the time we have for this episode of Insight. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button. Also, comment on the video if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them in the best way that I can. And as always, please consider hitting that subscribe button to this channel. Again, I am your host, Ryan Fox, and as always, I hope you guys are doing good, and I will catch you guys in the next video.